I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite barbecue dishes, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to switch it up with some pork because pork is one of my favorite animals in the entire world to eat. Now I've got some fillet here, and this is a fillet, a tenderloin, a pork tenderloin, really lean and really soft and tender and delicate. This is a great way of making a tenderloin into a nice little dish. I cut it into what we call little medallions, and this pork tenderloin will make 3. Now you can see the last little bit, that's a tail, is a little bit long. So what I do is what we call butterfly. I cut it almost all the way through like that, and then the last little piece here, I cut it all the way through, and then you fold it. So you got 3 pieces setting up next to each other, which are almost identical. Now I'm going to do something even better. I'm going to wrap it in bacon. I'm going to double down on the pork. Bacon and pork fillet together, what could be better than that? The bacon will give it a lovely, luscious, bacon smoky flavor. And you know what we say in the kitchen? Bacon is the duct tape. It fixes everything. It makes everything delicious. And to make it even more delicious, I've got some mustard on there. Whatever mustard you like, English mustard, Dijon mustard, whatever you have in the fridge is all you need. Some rosemary. I never buy rosemary. I just go down the road there and knock it off from one of my neighbors. I think they know that I'm knocking it off, but there's nothing better than rosemary and pork and any leftover bits to throw them into the barbecue. Now with these fillets, I just roll them around like this and pop them on the board here like that. And it's really easy to do. Something you can do the day before. Bacon and pork fillet. Now you line them up so that the joins all sit together, and that will help to hold them together so the bacon doesn't fall apart. Around it goes like that. You can see that's the join there. I pop it up next to that like that, and then with my little skewer, I use a little piggy skewer. This is a metal skewer. Great idea to buy a metal skewer because you can reuse it over and over again. The wooden ones, I find, they burn really easily and they can fall apart, whereas a metal skewer will hold up to anything. Now, whenever you're cooking meat, salt loves meat, meat loves salt. I've got it on my t-shirt here. I've even got it on a pepper mill just over there. You must put salt on your meat because that's what makes it tasty. I put it on here just to remind you, put salt on there. That's what makes it really nice. And I'll put a little bit more on the outside there. Of course, you need some pepper on there as well. And I'll turn that over, look at that, bang, over it goes like that. Pepper on the other side, and then you have a beautiful pork fillet. A little drizzle of olive oil like that, which will help to transfer the flavor from the barbecue onto my pork fillet. A little bit on that side there like that. And look at this chopping board. Whenever you're using raw meat, always keep raw meat separate from everything else you do. Bring it over here like an airplane. Ooh, there we go. Around it goes like that. There's not many airplanes flying around at the moment, so we need to do all we can. And if you want to, you can wash this board, reuse it, or just chuck it into the fire, whatever you want to do. I might save it for later. On it goes. You can see this one's cooking beautifully. I've just moved it off to the side to rest. But while that's resting, I'm going to put together, quick, back over here, put together a nice little salad. Peppers and eggplant. You can see this eggplant here. I've grilled it. The trick to this, or simple way of doing it, drizzle some olive oil on like that, a little pinch of salt like that, and then all you do is pop it onto the barbecue like this, around the back here, turn it around, and then let it grill. Turn it around like that. The peppers, when they're cooked and black on the outside, the skin will be nice and black, but the flesh will be nice and red. Just pop it into a bowl, cover it with cling film, and it'll be ready to go. The eggplant, that's like a vegetarian hamburger patty. That's all you need to do. Just grill it off like that and you get these little pieces here. I don't know, vegetarians would love this, wouldn't they? Just slice it up or put it whole onto a burger bun. A little bit of sauce on there, barbecue sauce, a little bit of cheese, and your veggie mates or even your vegan mates will love you for it. There we go, slice it up like that. Into the bowl it goes, and then I like a little bit of chili just to spice it up. I'll just slice it into nice big chunks, so if you don't want the chili, you can always pick it out. In that goes there like that. Sesame seeds, I love them. Toasted sesame seeds go in there. Some spring onions like that I've just taken the tops off them, sliced them nice and thin, and red onion, I've just sliced it nice and thin as well. Into my bowl that goes, and while I'm doing that, always stay nice and clean. We need some fresh herbs in there as well. Parsley is fantastic. With the stems, you can just take the stems off, and the beauty of having a barbecue behind you is it's also a great garbage can. You can just chuck the stems on there, and I'll just chop the parsley nice and rough. This is continental parsley. If you wash it really well, you can use the stems as well, and just rough like that, in they go. Now just all of it's in there. Now I use some of this. This is like a red pepper barbecue paste. It's a Korean one. In that goes as well, a bit of spice to it, and a lot of flavor, which is what I like as well. Some sesame oil goes in there. You'll drizzle it, that one. Be careful of the sesame oil because it can be quite flavored, can be quite powerful and over flavor everything. Over flavor, that's a new word that I've come up with. Over the shoulder, the salt goes, a good twist of pepper as well. And then just to make it even more delicious, stop the vampires from coming anywhere near it, I get a clove of garlic, smash it like that, and then just peel the skin off the outside of it. You could use a microplane if you want, but me, I love garlic. And there's nothing better than a nice little surprise of raw garlic all the way through it. Chop it nice and fine into the bowl. And then with a spoon, you just mix it around like that, and it all comes together. If you want, you can add an extra little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, splush it around like that. Make sure it's Australian extra virgin olive oil, because that is always the best. Support our Australian farmers, and also make sure your pork is Australian as well. Look at that, nice healthy little salad that your vegan, vegetarian friends will love. So that means you can have the pork and they can have the salad. Now put this plate over here and I'll show you what it all looks like. Now the salad will go on the plate here like this. And the eggplant in there, the peppers, that little bit of Korean tomato paste as well. On that goes like that. Oh, looks delicious. And then that does taste really good. Always grab the skewer with a tea towel. I'll take that off like that and slide that off there. Skewer looks great, comes off nice and easily. Give it a clean, it's ready to go for the next time. It looks fantastic. All you need to do now is put a little lemon on the side there like that to serve it, and it's a great looking little dish. Now I'm going to pop that over there, and you'll have a look at that in a second. You can see this is the elephant in the room over here, back over here. This is the elephant in the room. You're thinking, Richo, what's going on there? That is a pork loin crackling wrapped on the outside that's been cooking slowly and slowly and slowly over these charcoals. It is going to be delicious. The trick to cooking this is to let the skin dry out a little bit. Go to your butcher, he might even put it on the skewer for you, and then put it onto the grills, onto the stove here, onto the grill or the oven or whatever you're cooking, nice and hot. Oil the outside, plenty of salt on it, and heat the outside of it really, really high temperature, and that will get a crackle. Listen to that. That's going to be great. Now, once you've cooked the outside and you've got a nice crackling on it, I lower the heat or turn down the oven, whatever you're doing, till it's nice and cool, and let it cook nice and slowly all the way through. And if you want to know how it's cooked, a digital thermometer into the middle of it. When it's at 68 degrees or 72 degrees, somewhere between then, you know it's cooked already. Now this is cooking there nicely, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this together beautifully. I've got a roll here, and I've got a knife, which I'm going to take some off. I've got my bowl here, which has some celery in there, some apple, some mayonnaise and some gherkin, and you just mix that around like this. This is going to go beautifully with my pork. You're thinking, Richo, what are you going to do with it? You're going to make a fancy meal. There's nothing fancy here. All you need to do is switch off the rotisserie and then carve off some of that pork. Look at that. I might need a couple of moments with me and the pork alone. Oh, look at that. Delicious, tasty pork. Bring it over here like that. I'll cut this roll in half because I'm not going to need all of it. Pop my piece of pork in there with a crackling and a nice little bit of fat as well. Oh my goodness, that looks fantastic. A little bit of my celery, my apple, my mayonnaise on there, and onion just to make it nicely balanced. Look at that. Take a deep breath, because I know this is good, and you can smell it in there or see it or whatever you're doing. This is going to be fantastic. I might need a couple of minutes alone. Now look who I've challenged below to switch it up with pork. Won't be as good as this.